Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another EckhartsLadder lore video. And no, I don't mean a video by me about Star Wars, Halo, or science fiction. Rather, I thought I'd take a video to talk about the lore behind my channel. After that, I thought I'd give you guys a vision of the future and a brief channel update. But if you're just here for the goodies, I'll try to get that out of the way fairly quickly. In the background, by the way, I will just have some random gameplay footage because, believe it or not, there's no EckhartsLadder source book or visual dictionary to draw from. Anyway, two of the most commonly asked questions I get are, why did you choose EckhartsLadder as your name? What does that mean? And second, why the dog, or Doge, in your profile picture? I think a bit of context is important. When I started this channel back in 2014, it wasn't really for anything. It was more or less just a channel that I could use that would not be connected with my personal name. Originally, I just uploaded stuff directly off my Xbox One, along with music I liked, maybe a few Let's Plays, whatever else. There wasn't a whole lot of effort put in, and thus the channel name and the whole branding, which still is maintained to this very day, was in a way haphazardly thrown together and now sort of represents me as an online creator. But I don't mind that. I don't plan on changing from EckhartsLadder anytime or changing from the dog. I quite like the online persona I've made and how it allows me to cover not only Star Wars, but science fiction and really whatever I want. But I didn't get my name from a random name generator or find it on the internet or anything like that. It does have a little bit of meaning. So in the early 2010s, I was really starting to watch different types of movies. I was also reading a lot, science fiction, horror, basically whatever. One movie I discovered and really liked that I didn't see people talk about a lot was Jacob's Ladder. Now of course, as I grew up a bit and discovered that my tastes weren't as unique as I'd hoped or thought, I found out that the movie was actually fairly popular, at least online. It certainly had a following. Without spoiling too much, because I do think it's a cool movie worth watching, it's basically about a soldier who returns from Vietnam and begins to hallucinate, as do the members of his squad. It's very surreal at times, it blends psychological horror with more traditional horror, and at the time at least I thought it was really unique. Continuing, at one part in the movie, a character talks about the supposed teachings of Christian mystic or theologian Meister Eckhart. Now, personally, I'm not a religious person, though of course it doesn't matter to me if you are, but for some reason in 2014 I liked that quote, and I thought it would be cool to take the name of the person who the quote was sort of attributed to, although it was supposed to be a paraphrase, then add the end of the movie, and thus we have Eckhart's Ladder. So it really doesn't mean anything. The quote itself isn't really particularly deep. I liked it for whatever reason then, but it sort of stuck with me, the name at least. Besides for the movie title, Jacob's Ladder also refers to a biblical ladder to heaven, which I thought worked kind of with the quote. So there we have it. Now I kind of like that it almost seems like some sort of maxim. Occam's razor, Eckhart's Ladder. So, not a very satisfying answer for some of you, I'm sure, but I hope it satiated your curiosity somewhat. My first name is not Eckhart, by the way, it's Justin, though I've got no problem with you calling me Eckhart's Ladder, Justin, whatever you want really. I will say though, since I started the channel, a lot of people have taken my name and made accounts that aren't me. I know there's one on Xbox Live and even Roblox, funny enough, and I'm sure other sites, just to know that I'm only really active on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, though I also have a Facebook page. So just be careful if someone is pretending to be me, especially if there's money involved or whatever else. As for the picture of the dog, there's really even less of an impressive backstory for that. I really only chose the dog or the Doge because in 2014 that was, I guess, a topical meme, or I probably thought it was funny. A lot of people have asked whether I'm a furry, and I've got no problem if you are, but no, I'm certainly not. It was never meant to represent me as a channel. It was first of all just a sort of placeholder picture, and now it's sort of evolved into its own thing. It's more likely that I change the logo than the name in the future, and there is a possibility, although I don't see it happening anytime soon. I've got a few different variations on it now as well, which I quite like. It's outdated, it's silly, but I think people are starting to associate it with what I do, at least in the Star Wars context. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about for those two questions. I've done huge Q&As in the past, and I'll probably do another one when we reach 500,000 subscribers. The only real thing is, I don't feel the need to do so because I am really quite accessible between Twitter, Instagram, Twitch especially, and also Discord. The latter two I should mention earlier, I'm also actively engaged on. On that note, I should mention, I get a ton of messages, emails, tweets, Instagram DMs daily, and I try to respond to as many as possible, but it's really hard for me to keep up. So if I don't respond to something you sent me, feel free to keep trying and know that I've probably at least read it, but often I don't have time to review fan fiction or write you guys super long responses as much as I really would like to. I love hearing from the community and interacting with you guys, which is why I keep my DMs open on Instagram, Twitter, and Discord, which I think is rare for a creator of my size. So feel free to message me. But yeah, at some point in the future, we'll also do another long, maybe an hour or so Q&A video, perhaps in live stream form, perhaps in video form, I'm really not sure. But before I let you guys go, although you can leave at any time really, I would like to talk a bit about my plans for the channel and just the future. I started EckhartsLadder in the state it is today as a Star Wars YouTube channel in, I think, March of 2017, so it's really blown my mind how far we've come in just over 2 years. This is by far the best job I've ever had, and I really want to do YouTube and just to talk about Star Wars as a job for as long as I possibly can. I will say though, in 2 years I've also uploaded nearly 700 videos. I've hit between 5 or 7 videos a week, basically since I've started, with long periods of me not missing a single day of uploading. Now, that's probably not impressive to some, but personally, and again we all deal with stress differently, I've been starting to get a little overwhelmed and certainly burnt out, which I know is common among content creators. Now, some of you probably don't sympathize with this because I'm talking about Star Wars daily, and you know what, fair enough, but even when I take a week off, which I've done last year and which I will be doing later in April, I still have to work in advance to schedule uploads. And all of this has really started to sort of stress me out and certainly decrease the quality of my videos, arguably, at least compared to where they could be. I've increased over time, but I think my videos could be even better, and also my overall efficiency. I spend a lot of time at the computer just screwing around. So I think the way around that personally is to increase the size of the EckhartsLadder team, and this will be one of my major goals for 2019. I, or at least my voice, will always be, I guess, the face of the channel. I always plan to do the video writing and the scripting and the recording, but I hope to more and more pass off some of the editing and some of the SEO work, where I think my passion for Star Wars and my knowledge is a little less important. In my ideal world, this channel has uploads 7 days a week, with some dedicated to Star Wars, some to Halo, then wildcard days, where I cover basically whatever the community wants. I don't have the energy or research for that now, but it is something I'm planning in the future. I have also taken a bit of my sort of YouTube stress and instead focused on growing my Twitch account. I've been streaming almost every night over at twitch.tv/EckhartsLadder, usually before I start working, and it's been really nice to take some time away from YouTube and grow on a platform in a way that's not so labor intensive, I guess, while also getting to interact with you guys on a much more close level. YouTube right now also probably is not the most stable job to have, if it ever was. The site is always having issues, whether it's notifying or how the algorithm treats your videos, and personally, although I am quite happy with how my channel's grown and my standing among Star Wars channels and my expectations, I always think that I could be doing better, and because this opportunity might have a very definite ending point, I'm just trying to get as much out of it as I possibly can. Some of you may know this, but others don't. I do have a fiance and a very young child, so to me it's really important that I try to diversify and make the most of this incredible opportunity that I've been given. Regarding the channel, although this month has been down and December wasn't quite as good as it was last year, I'm really pleased with how the channel's doing, both on a year-to-year basis and when looking at shorter trends over time. I hope the video quality is noticeably increasing. Personally, I think it is, especially as I get more used to reading a script and talking to you guys. My editing gets a little bit cleaner, I sort of define a style, but let me know what you think about that down in the comments. However, I really don't want my new Twitch use, I guess, to affect my overall output on YouTube. And although I said that it hasn't, I've probably lost maybe 1 or 2 uploads just because I've streamed a little too long. So I've got to again find some sort of happy medium. I just want to reassure you guys that the YouTube account will always be really the main thing for me, and that will always be the majority of my focus, because I'm not a great video game player. To be honest, my personality probably isn't super standout, but Star Wars knowledge is, I think, where I can really shine. As sad, maybe, as that is. Just to summarize, hopefully by next year, we'll have 7 daily uploads, mostly Star Wars still, but more looking at other universes like Warhammer, whatever other sci-fi you guys want, and everything else. As an example, right now I'm trying to read through the Event Horizon novelization so I can do a video on that universe. However, that's hard when you're also doing streaming and recording and normal research and editing, so hopefully pretty soon I'll have a bit more time. Speaking of outsourcing, I guess, I've also finally, as of last night, seen a near complete cut of Battle of the Dreadnoughts. And for those of you who don't know, Battle of the Dreadnoughts is a project that EC Henry and I are working on for this channel. Now, it's very important to me that Battle of the Dreadnoughts does well because, to be honest, I've put money into it, and it's sort of a labor of love for the both of us. So I hope you guys can support that as it comes out. I'd like to do more big projects like that, whether it's the size comparisons I've done in the past, new animations, maybe commissioning some art, so hopefully you guys can help support me in that manner. But I think I've rambled enough for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe you learned something new about the name. If you have any other questions, let me know down in the comments, and I will try to answer some after this video goes live. Anyway guys, please subscribe and tune in for more regularly scheduled lore videos, turn that bell on so you're notified, and I'll see you again very, very soon.